If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. Silk City Hot Sauce. A small batch hot sauce prepared with farm-grown peppers. Rich and vibrant taste, no artificial ingredients, 100% pure goodness. 8 flavors from mild to wild. The sweet and spicy Mango Madness, the green jalapeno sauce called Aztec Attack. The Dragon features fire-roasted peppers and pure Vermont maple syrup. Killer hot sauces for the true hot sauce fanatic, a blend of ghost peppers, habanero peppers, honey, and garlic, and more. You gotta see the bottles, too. Each flavor has original comic book artwork. You gotta see them. Go to SilkCityHotSauce.com. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Enter promo code ED, ED, to save 15%, and you'll also receive a free bottle of hot sauce.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting, either through my website, emailrevealer.com, or you can just email me directly at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. If you like our show, there's a lot more content on Patreon. You go to the Opperman Report Patreon, and we put up about 8 hours of content each month. Plus the shows that you hear here Monday to Friday, we put them up on there with no ads, ad-free. Plus a lot of free content up there as well. Also, too, our archives you can always find free at Spreaker.com. You sign up for free, get an email notification anytime I put up new content, and there's a chat room you could chat with other listeners. Very excited about today's show. I'm watching a TV show yesterday about Jodi Arias. And for me, this was new news. I didn't realize this was an old interview. But we have Donovan Bering, who was, I guess, in pretrial detention over there in Pima County, along with Jodi Arias. And she has a lot of information to share with us. Donovan Bering, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much. Can you tell, before we get into the whole story about Jodi Arias, tell us about yourself, Donovan Bering.
Well, I've traveled quite a bit in the last probably 10 years, but I planted my roots in Phoenix, and kind of all my learning experiences pretty much happened in Arizona.
And I guess you raise birds?
Excuse me?
You raise birds? No, I can hear birds chirping in the background, huh?
Oh, that's weird.
Okay. Wait, who is that?
Huh?
That's a bird in the background?
Oh, you can hear the birds?
Yeah, I can hear the birds. Yes.
She's gonna move them.
Oh, no, that's okay. And the birds are fine. I was just okay. So, so now what happened? This was Pima County Jail.
Yes, it was. It was Estrella Jail.
Okay, and how'd you wind up there?
Well, I got involved with an individual that I was going to go into business with. That she decided to burn her old business down, and got involved in the whole situation of it. And I had just gotten here visiting from Alaska, and that's how I ended up in the jail.
So you were in there awaiting trial yourself?
Yes, I was.
And what was the disposition of that case?
Oh, it's all done. I did all the. There was no jail time, none of that, and did all the probation and everything.
Gotcha. And this was a pre-trial. You were there waiting, right?
Correct.
And it turns out, there's a romantic story. You met your wife in there.
Yes, I did.
Okay, how'd that come? It's a love story too, right? So how did that come about?
Well, I got in there. Of course, never been a day in my life have I ever spent time in jail or been arrested, so I was kind of scared. And I walked into the pod, and she just kind of took care of me, made sure everything was okay, and because I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. And so that's how we met, and then we just we stayed in touch all the way until she got out 4 years ago.
But you were romantically involved in the jail?
Yes.
And you got married when you got out?
Yes, we sure did.
What was her charges?
I believe it was kidnapping.
Oh, really? My goodness, okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you said you were in there and you were scared at first, after a while, you realized it wasn't as scary as you thought?
Yeah, and plus when you get to know the people, and, you kind of stay to yourself, you don't have any problems. So you just kind of learn to just, turn your nose the other way and just be quiet.
And these are pretty much the same people we deal with every day. A lot of times we don't know our friends and neighbors got mixed up in an arson case or something crazy like that and wound up in jail. We don't even know. You don't see them from a year. You think they quit their job. They moved away or something like that. And you see them again, you find out. So what was your biggest inconvenience or your biggest problem being held in a jail?
It's how do I say it? There's quite a few things. I guess the nutrition and the medical is really bad there. So if you have anything going on, you don't get treated. It's real bad.
Well, what do you say to these people that say, oh, they have it so good, 3 hots in a cot, they got color TV, cable TV? What do you say to those people?
I've met people that will go back because that's all they have. Because when they're out on the streets, they don't have anything, so they get back in and they have their food, they have place to sleep, they have a shower. So there are people that just do that because they don't have anything on the outside.
Yeah, how tragic is that? That it's better off conditions in our homeless situation we have in this country. Now, tell us about the first day you met Jodi Arias. Who met her first? You or your wife?
Well, she came in the pod door and all of us saw her, but she went straight up into the cell that she would have been sharing with my wife. That was the first time we all saw her.
And how'd she get along with your wife?
Well, at first, because none of us, knew what she was in there for, we thought she was put in there to get, because it was maximum security, and we figured she was put in there to try to get information on people, because nobody could have fathom what she was in there for. So eventually, we all started getting along, and then it worked itself out.
So because she was so clean-cut and well-groomed, you thought that she was some kind of undercover agent or an informant being sent in there to uncover information?
Correct.
On people's cases, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So then, was she nervous too? Like you said, when you went in, you were nervous. Did she seem nervous?
No. She walked in, she had this straight look on her face, had her belongings in front of her, and just walked straight up the stairs.
Now, was that her first day in jail, or had they kept her in another section before she was transferred there?
I believe she was in a different section until she was transferred to Estrella, because she came from California, I believe, to Arizona, and then they got her into the Estrella jail.
Gotcha. Okay, so she was already comfortable because she had been in jail in California too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how did the friendship come along? How was it established?
Well, I had never been in jail before. You could tell that she was, not really comfortable, but more comfortable than me. And we just sat down at the same table and started talking. And she started talking and opening up to my wife upstairs. And then when we'd come down and play cards and stuff or whatever, talking, she started opening up and got more comfortable and more comfortable.
How did she get along with the other women there?
She didn't have a lot of friends. She would buy people. I mean, she'd put stuff on their books or things like that, but she didn't have really any other friends.
Where was she getting money from?
She was getting money from all over. I believe her family, and then a lot of these guys that were intrigued with her and people out of the country, they started just, sending her all kinds of stuff.
So, but even at that point, she hadn't confided in you and said, "Hey, I'm Jodi Arias. I'm here for murder. And my case is all over the news."
Eventually, it did come out, but it was quite a bit. It was probably, I want to say, maybe it took a few weeks, because you don't watch the news in jail. So we had no clue until finally it got out.
But what about people?
You can only keep it quiet. So you can only keep it quiet really so long.
Yeah, but what about people that just arrived? They were watching the news the night before, and they got a DUI, and they got to do 6 months. And they just arrived.
Yeah.
Didn't they recognize you?
Yeah, and a lot of people would try to say they knew information about her to get a lighter sentence. I mean, they would just lie. Because Jodi didn't do that. Didn't just come out to anybody and tell them things. So, yeah, they would come in. They would know her. They would know who she was.
No, okay. So then it was the word was kind of out.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm saying so the word was kind of out that this was Jodi Arias and she was on TV for murder.
Yep, that was starting to.
When you heard she was in there for a murder charge, were you shocked?
Yeah, absolutely, because when you meet her, you really you can't even fathom, her doing that. Now, when you first meet her, because you don't know details or anything, but people were shocked.
Now, when she would leave the pod and go to court for court appearances, would she come back and complain about her attorneys?
A couple of times she did with me, and I'm not sure what she talked about with her roommate, but she would tell me how discouraged she was
with the quality of her legal representation.
Yes, especially the first set of lawyers, and then she got these other ones, and it was nothing but, it seemed like tension from day one.
Okay. And now, was she on the phone a lot?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Nonstop.
Okay. So now, when you started, what did she tell you happened? Well, what was her version of the events that happened and caused her to wind up there in jail, facing murder charges?
When we were in there, her story was it was self-defense.
Right.
That he was attacking her, and that was the story she stood by. I didn't start finding out, more detailed information until after I went home and became real good friends with her mom and family.
So there in the jail, she was telling you it was self-defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the story she had for quite a while.
And then what reason did she give you that Travis was attacking her?
That was her excuse for doing all that she did. So it was like an overkill, but yeah, that was her excuse for protecting herself, supposedly. So
her story was that she traveled all the way to Utah to visit Travis, but then they got into a dispute and he attacked her?
Yeah, well, Travis was in Mesa, so she came to Mesa.
Okay.
Met with them because she was going to go to Utah. She had a guy she was supposed to meet there, but they got into, they stayed there. They, always would have sex and that, and then all of a sudden, he did come after her because he was seeing other people, and she started to attack him, and one thing led to another. It was like an overkill.
Okay. Now, I saw on the TV show the other day you said that she was involved in witchcraft?
Yeah. Yeah, she was into, for a while, she was into the black magic and areas of that, and then she kind of worked her way up to different, I guess you want to say beliefs, and then the last was her being Mormon.
Okay, now that's interesting. So when she came into the jail, she was practicing black magic.
No. She had already been baptized and all that into Travis's church, and that. So.
Okay, so she was into black magic as a child, then converted to Mormonism, LDS, and then back in jail, back to black magic?
No, I don't know. My wife was there with her.
Okay.
But the whole time she would talk to me, she always had the like a Mormon book, and she would. But she was very educated in many different beliefs also. But I never saw her practice black magic in the jail. I know she did when she was growing up.
Okay, and do you know who influenced her to get into that?
I believe I was told it was her boyfriend.
She had a boyfriend, okay. But your wife, in the interview I saw of your wife on TV the other day, she said that she saw her doing this witchcraft and black magic there in the jail.
And then she probably did, because they were upstairs. I was downstairs.
So that's fascinating. So your wife never mentioned that to you? Says, hey, she's up there doing all this stuff. She didn't do.
Yeah, because you don't know who, you stay really quiet in there, because you don't know who's listening and what they're listening for, just to better themselves. So you just kind of have to choose what, I guess, you talk about and stuff.
Now, were you there while she was on trial?
No. I went home in, let me think, October, November, December, January, in March. And I was friends with her mom and all that. And we were writing, and I was doing her posting and stuff. So I started, when she went to, right when she started her trial, I was there with her mom.
Oh, so you would go to the court with her mom?
Yes, with her family.
Because when you got out of jail, you took over her social media. Now, what did that involve?
Well, sometimes it would be really ugly. She always liked to lash out at her parents or, embarrass people. And that was one way, was through the internet. And I used to run it, yes, but until she started getting really, into, like, to me, embarrassing her family. And that's when I locked her out and I stopped doing it.
Yeah, that's right. At one point, you actually locked her out of her own social media.
Yes, I did.
Okay, because you were upset about some allegations she was making about her father?
Yeah, and, and her family. It was just really sad.
Because by that time, you had become friendly with her mother and father.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, at one point, you were visited by a friend of hers who came to stay at your home?
Yes, I was.
Okay, now how did that come about? She called you up on the phone and said, hey, I want my friend to come over there and stay with you?
Correct, yes. She let us know that a friend of hers was coming in and wanted to know if we could put him up, because he had fake credentials for the media for him to be able to go in and talk to her. So, so he was staying with us. Matter of fact, my mom paid for his room of where we were staying. So, yes, he came and stayed.
So this is a guy with fake media credentials who was able to visit her at the jail.
Correct.
Okay, now that's interesting. Now, he comes to stay with you. How did this come about that because he ultimately confessed to you and said that he was involved in the murder too? Yes,
he did. It was a strange situation, and it was like Jodi had something on him, or it was a really weird friendship, if that. So, yeah, he did. She got him involved in a lot of stuff. So.
Well, like what else?
Yeah. Well, just the whole thing with, being her friend and coming there to the jail and lying, and, they were starting to watch her mail and listen to her phone calls and that, and anybody that she would get involved with, something always happened. And so she did a lot of family damage on the internet.
Okay, gotcha. So this is someone she knew before she was in jail, because obviously he traveled with her to Travis's house. Now, Were they in a romantic relationship?
I got the impression that they were at one time, but they were like the best of friends. There was nothing that he didn't do.
Now, you've never revealed his name publicly?
No.
Okay. You believe she had some kind of blackmail dirt over him?
Absolutely, I do.
Any idea what that could be?
I think that it was the sex tapes and the different life. That's because the things that I just saw and that she had written and stuff. That's, and he was Mormon, and he could have been, I guess, kicked out of the church or that, but she held that over him.
Gotcha. So it's sort of the same thing as with Travis. They were both part of the LDS, and they have very strict rules about the premarital sex, and she was holding that over on them.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And then she would lie, and he accused him of other things that weren't true, but yeah, she would do anything to get her way.
Now, when the night that he confessed this to you, can you describe that night?
It was just pretty much because Jodi had started being honest with us because, of course, she's getting ready to go to trial, and especially with me with stuff, and I think other people she visited. But she did not go there to intentionally kill Travis, So she was there to kill somebody else, and it just happened to fall on Travis.
Well, then who was she there to kill?
It was a female that was involved with Travis.
Really? And she confesses to you, or he confesses to you?
He did.
He did. Okay.
Yes.
So he traveled with her there to Mesa to kill Travis's girlfriend.
Correct.
How did they wind up at Travis's house?
I think, to be honest, it was more or less for the sexual part of it.
Okay, but he wasn't participating. Was he participating in the sex with the two of them?
No, it was just him and Jodi.
Wait, so they went there to kill... Okay, and we went to Travis's house. I had a question for you. It just slipped my mind, though. Was this someone that Travis knew? Did Travis know this man as well, previously?
I'm not sure if he had met him or not, to be honest. It never came up. So I don't know if he did or not, if they were on a personal level or not.
Do we know where this man lived before he traveled to Mesa to participate in this murder?
Different places. I mean, it had been in California, and I don't know. They've tracked him places, and I don't know the last place they said he was.
Do you know where he is right now today?
No.
Have you heard from him since you made these allegations?
No.
Okay, fascinating.
He's totally gone. Yeah, I know, it's totally just...
This whole thing is just fascinating.
I don't yeah, because I don't support her, so...
Right. Now, if the name were to be spoken, right, would this be a name that people fascinated with the case, that followed social media, followed it in the news, maybe went to the trials, would they recognize this name?
Yes.
Fascinating. This is just incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, now, why do you think he confessed to you that he participated in this murder?
We started having a real casual conversation and talking about stuff, and he had, kind of felt bad on some of the stuff that Jodi would have him do, and we just started talking, and all of a sudden he just, I don't think, he needed to say something to somebody, and he knew that I wasn't going to, say anything about him, but his name had been brought up many times.
That he had been possibly involved in the murder?
Correct. Yes.
Really? Okay. I'm not familiar then with this name. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I even tried to Google around last night and try and figure it out.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they have that part closed or not. I don't know what they have available and what they have sealed. I don't know.
Okay, because you went with this information and you took it where? To the police or the DA's office?
First of all, her mom.
Okay.
And then her mom was kind of on the same page as I was, and to her lawyers, but never went anywhere.
Okay, you said you told her mom, and your mom believed this story, that he was involved?
Oh, yeah, she did, because she had the same feeling.
Did the mom ever confront him and ask him about it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know that he just disappeared, but she was hoping that they would have brought him in to question him and things like that because, it was Jodi's life.
So were the defense attorneys aware of this story?
Yes, they were.
Okay, and they didn't even question this man?
That I'm aware of. I didn't know anything about it, and her mom didn't say anything about it.
And what about the prosecutors and the police? Did they become aware of this story?
Yeah, but the whole time they just assumed it was Jodi and never looked any other way.
This gentleman, was he a witness?
Yes.
See, that's why they don't want to touch it, because it'll mess up the case. Just amazing how these guys are so.
The whole thing was sad. It was a learning experience, and nobody trusts their lawyers now. You can't talk to your lawyers without books going out or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true too. That's a whole nother situation too.
Yes, it is.
Now, what about it was always fascinating to me. There was an issue in the trial, because I'm a digital forensic investigator, and when they had the DFI on the stand and they were questioning him, when Nurmi, the defense, was questioning this witness, he was describing that Travis Alexander was logged into his ex-girlfriend's email account and going on her YouTube, but he never answered. He never asked the follow-up questions or mentioned that in closing to get that information to the jury. Did Jodi ever mention that to you?
Yes, she told me. I mean, I was aware of all kinds of stuff she said that Travis was doing and how they did get on each other's internet stuff. And back then, MySpace was real big. So yeah, and Jodi was good at hacking into things.
Okay, so Jodi would get into his email account, and he would get into her email account, and also his ex-girlfriend's email account?
That's what it was. That was what was told, and but that was not told directly to me.
Yeah, well, if you listen to the testimony, it's very clear. And also, too, there was a whole lot of shenanigans that went on, too, with Alexander's laptop, with stuff that was deleted that was never brought into court. Everybody was watching his live was just like in shock at the testimony in this case. What is your opinion of Travis Alexander? Of course, no one deserves to be murdered, but do you find him to be this sainthood type person, or what is your opinion of him?
Oh no, I don't think he was a saint. I think he was living two lives, and which it was proven. He, what's the stuff that he was doing, but I definitely don't think he was a saint. No.
He was a multi-level marketer, like a pyramid, it's not very respectable. And you watch these movies, and they talk about how he's there to help people achieve their goals in life and all that stuff. He was a multi-level marketer. Now, you said he was living two lives, though. Was this just of a normal, healthy, heterosexual man who, is living a normal, active sex life, or was there things involved that went beyond your?
Well, to me, it just floored me because he was supposed to be this devout Mormon and living by all the, I hate to say rules, but living by what was supposed to happen. But then behind closed doors, he was a total different person when it came to the sexual part of it and using women. And there was two sides to him.
Do you feel that he was abusive toward Jodi?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Was Jodi involved in any romantic relationships in the jail?
No.
No,
she was not.
How did she get along?
It's almost impossible.
Oh, I'm sorry?
It's almost impossible unless she was to mix in with the guards.
Gotcha. Okay, now, how was her relationship with the guards?
Oh, she liked to flirt. She would play him. So.
Okay. Let me take a little commercial break here, okay? Fascinating stuff here. What a story. I'm surprised you don't want to write a book. We're with Donovan Bering, who was a cellmate with Jodi Arias there in the famous case of the murder of Travis Alexander. And we'll be right back with more of Donovan Bering after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors.
Before Epstein was the Franklin cover-up. Before that, the Finders. And long before that, the Cleveland street scandal. Pedogate Primer is a concise intro and overview of a growing child abuse epidemic worldwide. It features shocking instances of institutionalized and organizational pedophilia throughout history. Churches, cults, the world of arts and entertainment, the government, NGOs, charities, and major corporations are all complicit or culprits in many instances. Pedogate Primer delves into material that for many may seem like the stuff of conspiracy theories. For this reason, the book draws on academic resources, declassified documents, and other reliable sources, and steers clear of conjecture. Such shocking, true stories need no embellishment.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. Emailrevealer.com. People ask me all the time, hey, Ed, are you still a private investigator? I sure am. Go to emailrevealer.com. We handle adoption investigations, infidelity investigations, where you give us your spouse's email address. We trace it back to online dating websites, catch them cheating online, email tracing, locate or identify somebody from as little as an anonymous email address. Someone owe you money? Back child support? We can find that deadbeat, locate his hidden assets, locate his hidden bank accounts, find his current place of employment, and even assist you in obtaining a judgment and recover that judgment for you. Emailrevealer.com, digital forensics, computer forensics, cell phone forensics, recover deleted text messages, create a report that you can use in court. Emailrevealer.com, 800-572-9762. Thank you so much for listening to the Opperman Report. I want to welcome all our new listeners at WWPR 1490 AM in the Tampa Bay area. We're brand new down here. We're getting a nice warm welcome. We have great advertising opportunities for local sponsors, local businesses, but also international websites and international companies too on our other stations in California, Nevada, Utah, and on the internet worldwide. But down here in Tampa Bay, Florida, we have some great opportunities for you to come in and get very, very affordable advertising rates. Get a hold of me at oppermanreport@gmail.com and we'll cut you a good deal. Emailrevealer.com. People ask me all the time, hey, Ed, are you still a private investigator? I sure am. Go to emailrevealer.com. We handle adoption investigations, infidelity investigations, where you give us your spouse's email address. We trace it back to online dating websites, catch them cheating online, email tracing, locate or identify somebody from as little as an anonymous email address. Someone owe you money? Back child support? We can find that deadbeat, locate his hidden assets, locate his hidden bank accounts, find his current place of employment, and even assist you in obtaining a judgment and recover that judgment for you. Emailrevealer.com, digital forensics, computer forensics, cell phone forensics, recover deleted text messages, create a report that you can use in court. Emailrevealer.com, 800-572-9762.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. We're here today talking with Donovan Bering, who had a little problem there. She was in jail awaiting trial, and she was became friends with Jodi Arias. Then when she left, when she was released, she went on to maintain Jodi Arias' social media platforms. Kind of like a spokesperson, you know. But then, fascinating story. A friend of Jodi shows up at her house and confesses to be a participant in the murder. And now you've actually taken a polygraph over this, right?
Yes, I have.
Who administered the polygraph?
It was a private individual through the state. I'm not allowed to give his name out.
Sure.
Because it involved Jodi, and he was scared, so I had to sign a waiver.
Yeah. But who arranged all this? Like, on whose behalf was this done?
It was on behalf, I believe it was the city that requested it. That was 13 years ago. I got an email of where to show up and what it was going to be about, so that I could prove that, I wasn't exaggerating about.
Wait. So someone involved with law enforcement in the prosecution arranged this polygraph?
Yes, I believe so.
And you passed this polygraph?
Yeah, flying colors.
And nothing was done about this?
Nothing.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
But so much happened.
That's why I took it.
Yeah.
That's why I took it, because I wanted to prove that what I had said was the truth.
And since that time, you haven't heard from this fellow or from Jodi?
No. Not at all.
Are you? If this guy participated in a murder, are you ever worried that, hey, he could show up and possibly do harm to you?
No.
Now, why is that?
Because he didn't. I just never got that feeling from him. I knew that he was going. When he was gone, he was going to be gone.
So he's not an intimidating person. He's not physically intimidating to you.
No, he's not.
Okay. All right. And how did he describe the murder took place? He pulled out a gun and shot them. What happened?
No, I'd have to look back to this. It's been so long ago.
Yeah.
He just had heard a scream upstairs, and that's how he got himself upstairs. And he said Jodi was over the shoulder, and that's how she stabbed him in the back. And then he was involved with that. So yeah, he didn't know it was going to happen.
Okay. And who fired the gun?
Jodi.
Okay, Jodi fired the gun, and Jodi did the stabbing.
Yes.
And when he said that to you, did you believe him?
Yes, I did.
Really? Okay.
I did.
And then he helped move the body?
Yes.
And tried to clean up the mess?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Incredible story. Okay, you're not worried about him. And then you were saying, when we were talking a little bit, chatting off the air, you said there's so much that wasn't brought out. Give us some examples of what you want the audience to know about this case that we don't know.
They needed to see the different testimony of people, take into consideration some of the evidence that was proven to be true. I mean, nobody's saying that Travis deserved to be killed, but you need to, make us feel comfortable that you're trying your best to get everybody involved. It turned into a circus. So to me, it was a sad situation.
At the time when she was in trial, was your wife, future wife, I guess at the time, was she still there associated with Jodi every day?
No.
No?
She didn't go into prison until after my wife was out.
Oh, gotcha. So okay, so the court wasn't until your wife was out too when court started.
Correct.
Did your wife go to court too and visit Jodi there?
No.
Why, they didn't get along?
We just decided we didn't want anything more to do with it because it was just too ugly and just so much that I found out that I wish I would have known, before. And it was, to me, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, I could imagine. But give me an idea. What did you find out that you didn't know before?
Well, how involved, her mom was. And here I was, going out there defending, and then behind my back, selling stuff to, Inquirer, things like that. It made me kind of mad. And when her dad told me, the truth, it bothered me.
Dad told you the truth about what?
That, well, he put more of the blame on Jodi's mom.
About selling stuff to the tabloids?
That, and I guess whatever was going on. He didn't go into the exact details. I did it because he was accused of molesting Jodi. He never touched her. That was just a story, and I proved that on the lie detector test. It was a lie.
Oh, really? That was part of the lie detector test too.
Yeah, and they asked, they asked, and I told the truth.
Gotcha. Because I guess the question was something along the lines: did Jodi Arias admit to you that she was making this up about her father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was.
Gotcha. A lot was made during the trial about how she was being removed from the jail very early in the morning. She was missing her meals and wasn't eating all day. Do you believe that was exaggerated, or are those the legitimate conditions of defendants trying to present themselves in court?
I believe that was exaggerated.
Oh, really?
Especially being her, they're not going to do anything to jeopardize any kind of rumors of that. She may not have, eaten as much as she wanted, but she's not going to go hungry when she has storing stuff in her room or that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she had commissary in her room, so she didn't have to worry about the meals that were being provided every day.
Right.
Because now you said she was receiving a ton of donations.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Okay. So, were you still friends with her? You had stopped being friends with her by the time the verdict came in?
Not shortly afterwards. Shortly afterwards, when everything kind of calmed down and she got transferred and all that, and then it just I started just seeing things, and it was just really bothersome.
Oh, like what?
So I stopped.
What
just,
did you?
like I said, the involvement of the family, and and not having me go one way and they go the other, and it was a nightmare. It turned into a nightmare because all the people that Jodi would get involved and have get a hold of us and was going to do this for her or that for her. I mean, it was a nightmare.
Well, give us an idea. What was she having people get involved to do for her?
Postings. She had me try to get a hold of a couple like Jose Baez and Geraldo Rivera and people like that because she wanted to talk to them. For her side being a domestic, I guess, abuse. So it turned into like Hollywood.
And you said that her parents were selling information to the tabloids?
Oh, her mom was. And that was her dad telling me.
Yeah, it's so tempting, because they're all over you, throwing money at you. What about yourself? Did they ever make any offers to you?
Oh, yeah. I got offers.
And what kind of information did they want from you?
The same thing, just pretty much, what was Jodi like and what happened. And, they'll talk a lot to my wife because she was more her roommate. So she learned a lot about her in the jail. But it was the biggest mistake I ever made because I lost my family over it.
Oh, really? Now, how'd that happen?
Oh, because they were starting to get notified by media and getting horrible emails and on social media. So they had to kind of just break away. I didn't talk to my nieces and nephews for quite a while.
That's a shame. And you haven't heard anything from anybody since?
No.
Not even her parents?
Nope.
Her father died, right?
I didn't expect it.
No?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I didn't expect it, really, because it kind of started going away once everything was starting to die down and everything. She was already out to prison, and, she'll always get in trouble for something out there, but, that's just how she is.
Do you hear through the grapevine how she's doing in prison?
Some people say she's doing okay. Some people say she's, stays to herself and is scared. So it's hard to know. She's probably somewhere in between. And she's got money.
Right. She still gets money coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't go without.
Any chance of it? Are all her appeals and stuff run out, or any chance for her?
If it is, it's because of the
book.
Some of those stuff with the lawyer and stuff, and being able to, I don't know how a prosecutor can go and write a book about information that was in a trial, because, like I said, nobody's going to trust their attorneys because they're not going to know if they're going to throw it out there.
You said the prosecutor, but actually the defense attorney, Nurmi, wrote a book about his experience in the trial, then became a stand-up comedian. I believe he's a stand-up comedy now. Am I right?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, he did. He came out with one, and so did Juan.
Yeah, Juan Martinez also was disbarred.
Yes, he was.
And there was a huge scandal where information was deleted from evidence off of Travis Alexander's laptop, which is I worked on a case once, okay, where the guy was so guilty. It was incredible. It was in Mingo County, West Virginia, and he had went to meet his ex-wife, and he murdered her. And then he stuck her body, he stuck her body in a refrigerator, and then her family knew right away, because this guy had so many domestic violence arrests. They knew right away that this guy had gotten her because she was going to meet him that day. So they looked around where he could have dumped the body. This is like 3-4 hours later. And then they went back and they saw this refrigerator down off this cliff, and they knew right away that she was down there. But the thing is, my involvement with the case was because the guy confessed. But the police and the prosecutors had tampered with some evidence, and we were able to prove that. And for that, they dropped the charges down to 8 years. They gave him a deal 8 years. He's out right now. Yeah. Okay? But in this Jodi Arias case, there was so much abuse.
Yeah, and that's the scary part is, it wasn't done right, and to be honest, a lot of things weren't fair for her. Again, I'm not promoting, what she did. Yeah. But it kind of blew the faith in our system. Yeah, because every defendant deserves a fair trial, and it doesn't matter who you killed, whether it's a good person or a bad person or what. We all deserve a fair trial, and every one of us too has a much greater chance of winding up at that defense table as the defendant than you ever will of the state coming down on your behalf to go after somebody who wronged you. It's like a 99 to 1. You're going to wind up at a jackpot yourself. Yeah, she was. They never looked anywhere else but her. Right. They didn't like her from the beginning.
And today there's a killer walking loose.
I'm sorry, you broke. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, today there's a co-defendant, there's a conspirator, there's a killer walking loose, walking free.
Yes.
With no fear.
Yeah, because they don't believe it and they don't want to.
Well, I got the polygraph. I can't see how they can't use that. And plus, you're a witness. You confessed. It makes no sense. Did they ever say to you that they didn't believe you?
No. Because it was able to pretty much be, like I said, proven. And from the very beginning, from probably the second week into her having lawyers, her mom was, saying her idea and this, all kinds of, but they didn't. I didn't believe it.
The mother had some kind of idea she wanted to promote? What was that?
Yeah, because she believed that she had somebody help, and she believed it was the same person.
Why do you think Jodi wouldn't want to testify against this co-defendant and get lighter charges, or it just wasn't offered to her?
Because I don't believe it was offered, but plus she never ever thought that she'd be convicted.
Really?
Yes. No, she never thought.
Why do you think she was so confident? She had to be. She was sitting there in the maximum section of the pretrial detention. She had to know that everyone there was going to prison, because pretty much everybody does. What would make her think that she was going to get out?
She could fool herself into thinking that she'll be going home in 5 years or time served, because she doesn't understand or follow the law or what's going on.
She just wasn't paying attention, because she must be sitting there seeing everyone she's eating with every day is going to jail. They all wind up going to prison, one after another. Very seldom are charges dropped, or you get a not guilty plea, a not guilty verdict. Yeah. It's hardly ever. Prison. So she's been locked up for a total, I think, like almost 14 years between jail and the prison. I can't believe this is so long ago. It seems so fresh. I can remember. Yeah, I can remember doing interviews about this like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah. Because they keep it fresh. Like the new one on Discovery with her other lawyer and her mitigator. Saying that she was innocent and all that. They keep it going.
Yeah. So now, one of I guess it was in the mitigation phase. She had a psychiatrist or something like that testify on her behalf, and then he received death threats and was traveled around, stalked around and stuff like that. Did you experience that too as well?
Absolutely. It was bad, mainly outside the courthouse. And the officers wouldn't do anything because we were, as they looked at it, we were supporters of Jodi, so we had to pretty much fend for ourselves. Okay,
so there at the courthouse, you were being harassed and stalked, threatened. What about
Absolutely.
At home? On your home phone, your family? What was going on there?
My family was getting notified by people, because we didn't know it was going to become so ugly. So they had to block everything, and my nephews and nieces were being harassed, and I had to change my phone number. I mean, it was just ugly, and Jodi could have stopped it easily, but Jodi, if you cross Jodi, she has people that are going to make your life miserable.
How could she have stopped it?
She has to just write the people that she has do all this stuff and tell them to stop.
So, but at first though, she didn't have control over these people, right? Because these were anti-Jodi people.
No, she didn't have control over them.
Yeah.
But she had control over the ones that were doing some really bad.
Okay, great. So you first had it from the anti-Jodi people, then you had it later from the pro-Jodi people.
Yes.
So you didn't have a friend in the world, right?
Nope.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough because that true crime crowd can be brutal to begin with, and then it's just getting crazy how they stalk these witnesses and stuff like that. What about you ever talked to Nancy Grace or any of those kind of people?
A long time ago, years. I want to say maybe 2010, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, and that's pretty much. I haven't talked to really anybody else.
Let me ask you this: is there anything I haven't asked you that you want the audience to know? Because we only got a couple of minutes.
Anything what?
Is there anything I haven't asked you that you want the audience to know? Because we only have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I just want them to understand that this was things were not done right.
Yeah.
And there needs to be changes in making sure that all the people and the right people are held accountable.
Yeah, this really was a circus with Juan Martinez signing autographs and taking pictures with the spectators and witnesses being harassed, and even people like yourself, spokespeople, being harassed.
Yes.
Donovan Bering, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. I know it's been a long time. I didn't realize it was that long. So I guess you had a little struggle with your memory there to remember all this stuff. But thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, good night.
And now a word from our sponsors. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. Thank you so much for listening to the Opperman Report. I want to welcome all our new listeners at WWPR 1490 AM in the Tampa Bay area. We're brand new down here. We're getting a nice warm welcome. We have great advertising opportunities for local sponsors, local businesses, but also international websites and international companies too on our other stations in California, Nevada, Utah, and on the internet worldwide. But down here in Tampa Bay, Florida, we have some great opportunities for you to come in and get very, very affordable advertising rates. Get a hold of me at oppermanreport@gmail.com and we'll cut you a good deal.
Before Epstein was the Franklin cover-up. Before that, the Finders. And long before that, the Cleveland street scandal. Pedogate Primer is a concise intro and overview of a growing child abuse epidemic worldwide. It features shocking instances of institutionalized and organizational pedophilia throughout history. Churches, cults, the world of arts and entertainment, the government, NGOs, charities, and major corporations are all complicit or culprits in many instances. Pedogate Primer delves into material that for many may seem like the stuff of conspiracy theories. For this reason, the book draws on academic resources, declassified documents, and other reliable sources, and steers clear of conjecture. Such shocking true stories need no embellishment.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119. Hey guys, if you like the show and you want to show your support, check out the Opperman Report Patreon. You can go there and become a member for $3 a month. We have all the shows that you hear Monday through Friday on AM/FM radio. We have all those shows, but we cut out the ads, so you can hear that content ad-free. There's a $5 section where we put up all the old members section shows are going up over there. And then there's a $10 section where we have brand new content. 8 hours of exclusive content per month goes up there in the $10 section. But listen, I put up a lot of free stuff too. We put up documents, court documents, photographs, announcements. So you should make the Opperman Report Patreon a stop. You should stop there once a day and check out what's going on over there. That's Opperman Report Patreon. Silk City Hot Sauce. A small batch hot sauce prepared with farm-grown peppers. Rich and vibrant taste, no artificial ingredients, 100% pure goodness. 8 flavors from mild to wild. The sweet and spicy Mango Madness. The green jalapeno sauce called Aztec Attack. The Dragon features fire-roasted peppers and pure Vermont maple syrup. Killer hot sauces for the true hot sauce fanatic. A blend of ghost peppers, habanero peppers, honey, and garlic, and more. You gotta see the bottles, too. Each flavor has original comic book artwork. You gotta see them. Go to SilkCityHotSauce.com. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Enter promo code ED, ED, to save 15%, and you'll also receive a free bottle of hot sauce.